On the news tonight, Senate steps down bill to license operations and practice of private investigators in Nigeria. Moves to summon Minister of Works over Old Oyo, Ugbomoso Road. Federal government's presidential compressed natural gas initiative unlocks $175 million private sector investments. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu assures youth of access to tools and resources as 2,500 graduates benefit from Graduate Internship Placement Program. On the foreign scene, Israel bars United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres from the country over Iran attack response. These and more shortly. Good evening. This is the news at 8. I am Adibimpe Omotayo. A bill seeking to license the operation and practice of private investigators in Nigeria has been shut down on the floor of the Senate. The sponsor of the bill, Senator Osita Ngu, was advised to step down the bill after some senators described the proposed bill as a recipe for disaster. The decision to suspend consideration of the bill was sequel to a deliberation which lasted for over an hour during plenary. Senator Ogu took time to highlight some provisions of the bill, saying the legislation seeks to provide a framework for the licensing and practice of private investigators in Nigeria. The bill also seeks to provide for a system of regulation, control and conduct of the practice as to ensure professional standards.
The issue you raised now was one of my major concerns. Somebody said that several men will not be very comfortable with it because it will impinge on their freedom of going to the other way. So, Mr. President, well, let me go back and rework it and also consult more of my colleagues. I will do further consultations and thank you.
So I have a very magnanimous position. So the Civil Senator Osita Ngu has applied that he be allowed to step down this bill for further consultation. Those in support of his position say aye. Those against say nay. Only one voice. The ayes have it.
I think that it would be risky to license anyone to have the right to approach any one of us and ask certain questions because the law has empowered him so to do. It will just be a license for extortion, a license for blackmail, an unnecessary rivalry, and it will not be controllable. I think that if there was to be need, and I need to be persuaded that that need exists, to have private investigation, which is currently vested in about 3 institutions: the police, SIB within the police, DSS, and of course EFCC. All of this exists for the one purpose.
The President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, advised the sponsor of the bill to step down the bill and consult further with the senators who have raised concerns about the bill.
We have numerous wives, and then any of the wives can approach a private investigator, and they will bring very false evidence against you. And at the end of the day, you end up being scandalized. Social media will take that report as if the report is true. But however, I want to urge a view of the divergence of views. and the concerns raised by your colleagues, do you want to reject this and then represent it so that we just step it down?
Meanwhile, a bill seeking to establish a federal University of Agriculture and Tropical Studies in Iragbiji, Osun State, has passed second reading on the floor of the Senate. The bill, which was introduced for the first time, equally passed second reading without much debate. Sponsored by the leader of the Senate, Okpeyemi Bamidele, the bill was given accelerated passage and sent to the Senate Committee on Tertiary Education and TED Fund to report back in 3 weeks. Still on legislative matters, the Senate has summoned the Minister of Works, Senator Dave Humai, regarding the deteriorating condition of the Old Oyo-Ogbomosho Road. This decision followed a motion of urgent public importance moved by Senator Buhari Abdul Fattah, who expressed concern over the worsening state of the road. The lawmaker says the road, a vital link between the south and the north, has become a source of severe hardship for travelers. Abdul Fattah added that the poor condition of the road has caused significant distress, with many travelers frequently stranded. Senate President Godswill Akpabio therefore directed the Committee on Works to report to the plenary in 3 weeks. The federal government says the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative has unlocked $175 million in private sector investment in critical infrastructure in the last year. The Minister of Information and National Orientation of Nigeria, Mohammed Idris, says Nigeria now has 125 conversion centers, more from just 7 a year ago. Idris also said that the biggest advantage is that CNG is much cheaper than petrol and diesel and will help bring down the cost of transportation and commuting by over 60%.
Already over 700 of these buses have already been ordered. Now, these are the first sets that we are giving out to symbolize the official commencement of this initiative of Mr. President. So don't say that you have only 64 buses to cater for the whole of this country. It's a necessary first step by government, but beyond that, it is also the expectation of the federal government that the private sector will also come in. Already you have heard from the MD of the Presidential CNG initiative that over $175 million of worth of investment has gone into this sector already. We expect to see more of that. Nigerians are expected to go in. More and more Nigerians, technicians especially, are being trained. So it's a whole gamut of arrangement that will benefit all spheres of, all sectors of this country. All Nigerians will be felt.
He also confirmed that Dangote Refinery will begin to pay for crude supplies in Naira starting from this month, while the new Presidential Gas for Growth initiative has also begun implementing a 0% VAT regime on a wide range of the sale of gas and gas-related equipment. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has departed to the United Kingdom to begin a 2-week vacation as part of his annual leave. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President, Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, said he would use the 2 weeks as a working vacation and a retreat to reflect on his administration's economic reforms. He will return to the country after the leave expires. Back home in Lagos, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has restated his administration's commitment to ensuring that every young person in Lagos have access to tools and resources that will enable them accomplish their potential. The governor stated this at the onboarding of another set of 2,500 graduates from its graduate internship placement program. Adetola Kayode reports.
2,500 graduates converged on Lagos Television Blue Roof for the 2024 official onboarding ceremony of the Graduate Internship Placement Program, a brainchild of the Sanwo-Olu administration to address the challenges of youth unemployment and lack of skills on the part of youths. After going through admission process and 3 weeks of intensive training, these fresh GIPP graduates are ready for the next phase, which is internship placement in government ministries ministries and agencies. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who is represented by his deputy Obafemi Hamzat, says the idea is born out of the need to ensure youths have the requisite tools, resources, connection and relevant work experience to meet the challenges of both the public and private sector. Mr. Governor enjoins them to take full advantage of the rare privilege and opportunity.
And these are skills that are necessary to navigate work or job market. So from communications and teamwork and problem solving to professional ethics. These are things that probably they don't teach in school, but that we all need in order to survive in the workplace. So please don't view this program as just a platform for internship alone. It is for career growth, for personal development and professional excellence. Be proactive, be curious, and be open to new experiences. Remember that success is not just about what you know, but how you apply what you know and how quickly you can apply it.
The Commissioner for Wealth Creation and Employment, Akinyemi Ajigbotafe, also reiterated government's commitment to building a future of opportunities for youths in Lagos, where unemployment will be drastically reduced.
I urge you to be diligent, proactive, and adaptable. These internships are stepping stones to bigger opportunities.
The participants were presented placement letters, while some outstanding ones during the pre-internship program were honored. The theme for the 2024 Graduate Internship Placement Program is Igniting a Future of Opportunities and Excellence. Adetola Kayode, OTV News.
Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has called on citizens to break the culture of silence that encourages sexual and gender-based violence in the society. The governor was represented by his wife, Dr. Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu, at the 2024 Governor's Commendation and Awards Night organized by the Lagos State Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency. Details in this report.
This is the annual Governor's Commendation and Awards Night at the instance of Lagos State Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency to recognize individuals and organizations that are committed to the fight against sexual and gender-based violence.
We have seen a direct correlation between heightening awareness and encouraging people, which leads to encouraging people to speak up. And when people speak up, perpetrators are arrested and then the justice system takes its course. And so it's a linkage between creating awareness, encouraging survivors to break the culture of silence, ensuring perpetrators are held accountable, which we believe ultimately will reverse this culture of impunity.
The event, which usually wraps up the week-long activities, is designed to showcase the government's achievements and to encourage stakeholders in the fight against the SGBV scourge.
The reward of hard work is just more work. We will continue to work stronger in the Lagos district too, to make Mr. Governor to be proud of us, to make the First Lady to be proud of us.
Dr. Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu commends individuals and organizations that have joined the Lagos State government to eradicate sexual and gender-based violence in Lagos.
That's a wonderful work that the agency is doing. Going into the schools, creating the Queens and Kings Club, letting the children be more aware about themselves, building self-confidence, telling the boys what to do and what not to do, telling the girls what to do and what not to do, building confidence in them, being mentors in the society.
The week-long activities is to inspire stakeholders to scale up their commitment to bring relief to the victims and eradicate the menace in the society.
The youths of Ekpe have been advised to embrace education, positive thinking and personal advancement. Member House of Assembly, Ekpe Constituency 1, Honorable Abiodun Tobu, at an interactive dialogue with youth representatives from across Ekpe, spoke on varied issues concerning the youth. Details in this report.
It was an interactive session between youth representatives and member House of Assembly representing Ekpe Constituency 1, Honorable Abiodun Tobu, an initiative of the Not Too Young to Run in Ekpe. Various issues concerning Ekpe youth and the community were raised.
This is a digital era. Regarding the digital aspect, he said he will try and make a building for us where Ekpe youths and students will be able to have digital skills, digital training, in which he will employ some trainers for them. And also, we talk about job creation. Majorly, it's obvious that we don't have white-collar job within the community again, even Nigeria at large. So he said if there are people that are willing to do vocational skills, that are willing to show up their vocational skills, he can employ some trainers for them and give them facilities to use for it.
Ekpe division, students, youths, anywhere, we are always represented politically, morally, academically, just name it, we're always represented. But that representation is not that enough in some aspects when we don't have the influence of our political leader from house.
Honorable Abiodun Tobu and the youths shared notes of achievements and problems that need to be solved.
The youth of Ekpe should try as much as possible to get what will assist them in their visions and missions.
It's not about the politics, it's about knowing what we need to do at the right time. As a youth, you must be focused, dedicated, committed, and be diligent with whatever things we are doing. With that, we can be able to achieve better things for ourselves.
The youths should be more focused, more determined, more creative to achieve their vision and mission in life. Two, we have equally agreed that we are going to train some youths in technical skill, in manpower. We have equally agreed that we are going to create an IT hub using our office, and that will be controlled and managed by National Youth Council of Nigeria, coordinators and its executives. And we equally agree that we shall be having a regular interface with the youths in the community.
The interactive session forged a cordial understanding between the youths and their representative in the state legislative arm, with promises of continued interaction between the youths and the political leadership of Ekpe. Olumide Ojo, LTV News.
Still ahead. Lagos Television Management assures of professional content hosts a Muslim Congress and Down Syndrome Foundation. That's in a moment. Stay with us. It's the news at 8 on Lagos Television. General Manager, Lagos Television, Adesola Kosoko, has assured that the station remains committed to informing, educating and entertaining residents through professional content. She was speaking when the Board of Management received the Muslim Congress and the Down Syndrome Foundation on a courtesy visit. Aminat Elegushi reports.
The General Manager, Lagos Television, Adeshola Kosoko, and other management staff received the Muslim Congress Lagos State on a courtesy visit. The team, led by Muiliu Igbalajobi, say they are here to familiarize with the state-owned station on their mandate of promoting economic growth, health, education, security, and moral values. They are appealing that Lagos Television do more in promoting these values.
A media establishment ordinarily set the agenda for society. But as a media organizer, we want to, some of those things that the government is doing to promote security, we want you to help us to report more, probably some of your commentaries. And you also sensitize the government where the government has not been doing enough.
The General Manager assured that more will be done in the areas identified.
I want to assure you that Lagos Television is particular. We're not the kind of TV station that glorifies indecency, immorality, decadence. We are not that, apart from the fact that we already know that we are state-owned. But we will not say because we're state-owned and we are also saddled with the responsibility of generating our own revenue and now decide to, we know what is selling. It's the bad news that is selling. You know, it's the immorality that is selling. But we would rather stay with our little coins and do what is right.
After that, the Down Syndrome Foundation Nigeria team and their self-advocates also visited the station. The National Administrator, Nike Dennis, who led the team while highlighting activities lined up for the Down Syndrome Week, says there is need for more awareness.
We're advocating for their rights. We want to be sure that this stigma is stemmed, it's curbed. You know, there's a lot of stigma culturally, there's a lot of stigma religiously. Even as we go out, as we're coming, people are not aware. You know, they look at us, they look at what the difference is. And so we're trying to curb this. We want people, we want to sensitize people that Down syndrome is not a disease. It's not a contagious disease that people may think and run away and shy away from. Unfortunately, it is just a random change in genetics that makes these 3 chromosomes appear.
In a response, the General Manager intimated the group with various programs centered around the people with disabilities, promising to engage and showcase more content.
We are a non-governmental organization, so we're here for you. Please, I'd like to know what we can do, especially using the local languages. For the average man who can speak English, they understand what Down syndrome is. They understand what to do. But what happens to the pepper seller?
The General Manager also asked the 2 groups to follow the station on the various social media platforms to further promote their content. Aminat Ilegushi, LTV News.
Now, Nigerians have been asked to support law enforcement agencies and their officers in order to deliver their best. That call was reiterated during a condolence visit by Security Peace Building and Development Group to the families of senior police officers who died recently. Correspondent Adeshegun Igop reports.
Security Peace Building and Development Group, SPAD, a non-governmental organization with the cardinal aim of assisting the government and law enforcement agencies in a condolence visit to commiserate with the families of late CP Wahid Ayilara, Commissioner of Police, Akwa Ibom State in Oshodi, and Assistant Commissioner of Police Ayodele Fadairu, popularly called ACP Ayola Lagbon, in Owode Oniri. The group seek for more support of law enforcement officers in ensuring safe and secured environments.
When there is no security, there won't be peace. And when we're talking about development and there is no peace, there won't be development. As a group, we make it as our main target, just to serve as a motivational, actors in encouraging both serving and not serving law enforcement agencies.
They maintained that the late senior police officers were full of much knowledge, resourcefulness and commitment to diligence in their lifetime.
This thing will equally go a long way to motivate. Yes, it will motivate many serving law enforcement agencies. Not only that, the serving ones will serve as an advocate. You understand, for the payment of their salary, then if for their promotion to be effected as at when due, then for their recognition in the process of decision making as well. Because all these things mentioned are things that make a serving officer moved.
She was a woman of substance, an icon whose names has gone very far ahead of her. In spite of the period, the distance between her retirement and lifetime, the name has continued to resonate all over the place.
They urge family members to be strong and focused on upholding the legacies of their late heroes.
I came out from academy 34 years ago, and that was when I met her. Now I see this association in another light now. And the way they are going, they will go far. Amen. They will continue to impact lives of officers. I was only thinking that it was only the serving members they are after, not knowing that even retired ones have so much to benefit.
Very, very amazing. I was so surprised and shocked. And this very good development encourage people that have the good will. We are very, very, on behalf of family, we are very, very appreciative.
It will be recalled that both senior police officers died recently with impactful experience that will be greatly missed. Adesegun Igo, LTV News.
World Maritime Day is annually observed globally, focusing on the importance of shipping safety, maritime security, and the marine environment, and to emphasize a particular aspect of International Maritime Organization's work. This year, the focus is about navigating the future safety first. Joshua Murakinyo reports.
International shipping transports more than 80% of global trade to peoples and communities all over the world. Shipping is the most efficient and cost-effective method of international transportation for most goods.
And these conditions just demonstrates the effectiveness of the work of the organization. When you have state-of-the-art ships like the icebreaker Polaris assisting day in and day out the other vessels that need to provide and support that delivery of goods for you, for me, and from everyone in this planet.
This year's theme, Navigating the Future, Safety First, reflects the International Maritime Organization's work to enhance maritime safety and security.
Right now, in the Bay of Bothnia, in the middle of winter, in Finland. And this just demonstrates all the work that the International Maritime Organization carries out on a daily basis in order to guarantee the safety of ships around the world.
The theme also links to the UN 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and Sustainable Development Goals. Promotion of sustainable shipping and sustainable maritime development is one of the major priorities of IMO in the coming years. Therefore, energy efficiency, new technology and innovation, maritime education and training, maritime security, maritime traffic management, and the development of the maritime infrastructure, the development and implementation of global standards covering these and other issues will underpin IMO's commitment to provide the institutional framework necessary for a green and sustainable global maritime transportation system. Joshua Murakinyo, LTV News, Lagos.
Thank you, Joshua. Now, tourism is globally accepted as an important tool for social exchange and economic development. Now, as the world marks the International Tourism Day, our correspondent Ayola Adelize highlights the benefits of this important sector towards economic and social growth. Her report.
The tourism sector serves as a powerful catalyst for fostering peace as visitors from around the world explore different lands, meet new people, and experience diverse cultures. They engage in an exchange that promotes mutual respect, tolerance, and friendship. It is this spirit of shared humanity that can turn tourism to an engine for peace and reconciliation as it opens hearts and minds to new ways of thinking, living, and coexisting. This sector can be perceived as the epitome of intercultural dialogue, which allows meeting one another, learning about different cultures, hearing foreign languages, tasting exotic flavors, bonding and building tolerance. In essence, it is a mind-boggling educational and spiritual experience. World Tourism Day is praised far and wide in each nation and cities keen on tackling the energy of tourism for development, improvement and social personality. The purpose of this day is to raise awareness on the role of tourism within international community and to demonstrate how it affects social, cultural, political and economic values worldwide.
Tourism is a pillar of our economies. It plays a central role in our societies and in our individual lives. And it offers solutions to some of our biggest challenges, including the climate emergency and the urgent need to shift to more sustainable economies. The power of tourism is enormous, but it's not a force that can be taken for granted.
Lagos is enjoying peace. That is why we have a lot of people coming to Lagos, trooping to Lagos. And government will continue to make the environment, enable the environment to be robust. And we, as the custodian of culture and tradition, we also do our best to ensure that our cultural heritage, our natural heritage, the waterfront, the beachfront, we are protected and secured.
With the 2024 theme, Tourism and Peace, World Tourism Day highlights the vital role of this sector in fostering peace and understanding between nations and culture and in supporting reconciliation processes. In order to succeed, let's make this World Tourism Day a call to action to the international community, government, multilateral financial institutions, development partners, and private sector investors to unite around a new tourism investment strategy. Ayola Adelisi, LTV News.
Coming up, federal government disburses 77.56 billion naira loan to 1,000 micro, small and medium enterprises. That's in business news. Join us again.
Although Nigeria is ranked number 1 in cassava production globally, she imported about $54,200 in cassava in 2022, becoming the 121st largest importer of cassava in the world. These statistics form the basis of discussion at the first national conference of the Industrial Cassava Stakeholders Association of Nigeria held in Ikeja, Lagos. According to speakers at the conference, despite being a giant in cassava production globally, and Nigeria being the 61st largest exporter in cassava in the world, they agree that leveraging on industrialization, the country can overcome its challenges of inconsistent policy, increasing foreign exchange and lack of infrastructure facilities.
In the 90s, because of the way we were flip-flopping our political game, and up to 2015, most of the investment that went into the industrial sector, manufacturing sector, were more or less they just collapsed. You remember Joby industries there. You remember cocoa industry in Ikeja? I'm not going too far from you. I did my IT in cocoa industry. Where is cocoa industry today is down.
We are looking at how we can harness that potential to help the country in industrialization, and also to help the country in forex generation, in import substitution, because many of the industrial material that is used in Nigeria are still imported, and cassava industrialization can actually help reduce that.
They propose better packaging, regional standards and quality control and viable regulatory system as the way forward for the cassava industry in Nigeria.
Cassava is a golden crop because there is no household in Nigeria that does not take cassava. It's a very good, stable food, especially in the southern states here. And then I know that we have a lot of potential in that crop. It has a lot of potential.
We need to ensure that farmers are supported. We need to ensure that moribund industries that are processing cassava are brought back to life. And in whatever area that government can support that, will be welcome.
The first national conference of the association had a theme, harnessing the economic potential of cassava for national development through industrialization. Omoumi Okewo, LTV News.
The $1 Trillion Club is an unofficial classification of the world's major economies with a nominal gross domestic product of more than $1 trillion per year. The quest is on for Nigeria ahead of year 2026 target. Banks are recapitalizing. At this finance correspondent conference in Lagos, the conversation is centered on Nigeria's journey towards $1 trillion economy, impact on banks' recapitalization, opportunities for fintech and real sector.
In Nigeria, there is no doubt that recapitalized banks will increase lending to MSMEs, drive entrepreneurship and job creation, support fintechs through strategic partnerships, thereby improving financial inclusion. Also, recapitalized banks will enhance credit facilities for agriculture, manufacturing, and infrastructure development.
Speakers emphasize on the need for banks and fintech companies to collaborate and drive the real sector growth and resilience.
To achieve the desired level of financing by the real sector, the window offered by banks in partnership with fintechs must be adequately harnessed. Supervisors, on the other hand, must understand the interconnection among the various financial service providers and how their policies and actions can affect the efficiency and optimality of overall financial system. For sustainable and inclusive growth, policymakers must create an enabling environment that supports innovation, financial inclusion, and growth, while simultaneously protecting the market, consumers, as well as investors.
Insightful points for the banking industry would include, for instance, stabilizing the financial ecosystem. With a stronger capital base, banks will have the cushion to withstand both external and internal shocks. This resilience is critical to maintaining market confidence and ensuring that the financial system can continue to function even during times of crisis.
The consensus here is that the concept of growing Nigeria's economy initiated by President Bola Tinubu is the starting point for the national policy rethink, stakeholders' engagement, and realignment of efforts and policies towards achieving the objective of the $1 trillion economy. Joshua Murakinyo, LTV News, Lagos. Prince Kazeem Eletu Football Club continues their impressive start to the new season following a morale-boosting win over Clique Sports Football Academy of Bagada. The Lekki-based club gave their fans something to cheer on Independence Day, thrashing their opponents 4-1 in a friendly match decided at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena, Onikon. Jude Obasi scored a spectacular goal when he volleyed home from the edge of the box for his first goal, and Usman Agbola doubled the advantage just before half-time. Eletu boys continued their impressive form in the second half, created many scoring chances before the man of the match, Obasi, scored his second goal, while Akeem Olofin added the fourth after Faiz Adeyemi had reduced deficit for Click Sports in the 67th minute. Click Sports coach Adams Ojediran admitted that his words were overwhelmed by a better team, noting that the boys gave their best.
Why we call it friendly is just to get better in different area, in different department on the pitch of play. And today it's all good. I hope to play them again in another match, so we get to prepare better and to see all our lapses and mistakes in today's game.
Having played 2 matches before the latest game against Click Sports, head coach Prince Kazim Eletu FC said the players are gelling together while expecting the team to get better as the season continues.
I don't praise the team like that, you should know. I'm always about them coming up every single time. But there's an improvement today, better from different games, defensively, offensively, and progression from the back going forward. So there's an improvement. And to have played against a side like Click and still be able to do that, I think it's an improvement. Just that we want more. We're not there yet at all. We're just starting.
Team manager Muftau Eletu commended the performance of the players, especially the new recruits from the recently concluded trials held in Shaki, Oyo State. He noted the club management is working round the clock to ensure that players reach the peak of their careers.
Just keep improving the boys. As you could tell, we brought in some new players from Shaki. This is our 3rd game with the players. These guys are raw talent, so we are just looking forward to molding them into the system that we play with. They are showing signs that they can get to the level we want them to get to. So we are looking forward to playing more games and seeing them improve.
The team will face another top club side in Lagos next week at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena, Onikon. WBO cruiserweight champion Chris Billam-Smith says David Haye is someone he looks up to as the last Briton to unify a world championship belt in the division. Haye claimed the WBC titles in November 2007, and Britain's Billam-Smith wants to emulate him when taking on WBA cruiserweight champion Gilberto Ramirez on November 16. The gentleman put his WBO title on the line for the 3rd time after defenses against Mateusz Masternak and Richard Rauponi. Ramirez is set for his 3rd fight at cruiserweight following success at super middleweight and light heavyweight. He became the first Mexican to win a cruiserweight title when he defeated Arsene Goulamirian for the WBA belt in March. The only defeat on Zurdo's record is at light heavyweight by a current WBA and IBO champion Dimitri Bivol. Billam-Smith won his WBO title in a memorable night in his hometown at Bournemouth Vitality Stadium when he defeated Lawrence Okolie in front of a packed crowd.
Lagos Island, also known as Isale-Eko, is the principal and central local government area in Lagos, being the capital of Lagos State until 1957. The area plays origin to the many cultural and economic vibrancy that Lagos now boasts of. However, with the advent of civilization and technology, historians say the once vibrant historical origin of Lagos and Nigeria is losing some of its accolades. To reject this while also fostering unity and peace in Nigeria is a reason for this cultural heritage celebration by Her Royal Majesty Erelu IV of Lagos, Erelu Abiola Dosunmu, as part of activities to mark her 50th coronation anniversary.
Let's talk about when Nigeria was younger, when Lagos was younger, when Nigeria was more innocent. You know, the reason for dichotomy were minimal. We had more that we celebrated together. We had more that united us. At that point in time, if it is Christmas, when you have the fancy coming out, they come and start from the palace of the Oba of Lagos before they go anywhere. Nowadays, they tell you, oh, we are Brazilian descendant, oh, we are Lobo, and then when they want to celebrate, they celebrate within their own conclave. That was not what it used to be. We used to celebrate, and the Oba was the rallying point for everybody. But today, everybody wants to be Lone Ranger, but it cannot work.
The cultural celebration witnessed the presence of the White Cap chiefs of Lagos, led by the Obalua of Lagos, other eminent sons and daughters of Lagos Island, a guest lecture and display of a rich culture of the Saleko people.
It's not just to celebrate my installation, but also to forge unity amongst the people of Lagos Island. This is the nucleus. Lagos Island, Eko, Isaleko was the nucleus in which Nigeria was formed. Anybody that was ever anybody in Nigeria lived on Lagos Island.
Said she's a childhood friend, and we come from families that have always believed in development, in unity, in empowering others, in collective action. Who you are comes from where you come from, what cultural values, what historical antecedents you have, and what do you, as a people, have to offer the world?
Lagos is a peaceful state. We know everybody is enjoying the peace and tranquility of Lagos. That's why people come all over Nigeria and even far abroad, to reside in Lagos, work in Lagos. Right. When you come talk about ethnicity, right? You see, if you go to an host community, you have to respect their traditions.
Unity that has been part of what we are, who we are as Lagosians, should be enhanced, promoted, and everyone should be brought together under one canopy. Whether you are from Ekwetedo, you are from Saleko, you are from Olowo, we are one. So that is the essence of this celebration, and that is why we are here to support Erelu.
Celebrating Nigeria's culture as she marks 64 years of independence, the King's mother also advises all Nigerians to eschew hate and instead embrace peace.
I couldn't think of a better day to do it than on the day of our independence. The day where we all resolve to live together and be together and prosper together and lift Nigeria to the greatest height among the Committee of Nations.
The celebration climaxed with beautiful music from indigenous artists. Foreign news tonight. Israel's Foreign Minister Israel Katz has declared United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres persona non grata in Israel, effectively barring him from entering the country. The announcement was made on Wednesday in response to what Katz described as Guterres' failure to unequivocally condemn Iran's attack on Israel and what he called his support for terrorist organizations. The decision follows a series of statements from Guterres that, according to Katz, reflect a continued bias against Israel since the start of the conflict. Katz criticized the UN leader for failing to take a firm stance on Hamas atrocities on October 7, 2023, and for failing to push for resolutions designating the group as a terrorist organization. The foreign minister says Israel will continue to defend its citizens and uphold its national dignity, with or without Antonio Guterres, adding that Guterres will be remembered as a stain on the history of the UN for generations to come. Guterres rejected the designation from Katz, responding to it at the United Nations General Assembly. Let's take a look at tomorrow's weather forecast. Now to end the news, a recap of our major stories. The Senate has stepped down a bill to license operations and practice of private investigators in Nigeria. The Senate also summoned the Minister of Works over Old Oyo Ogumosho Road. The federal government's presidential compressed natural gas has unlocked $175 million private sector investments. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has assured youth of access to tools and resources as 2,500 graduates benefited from Graduate Internship Placement Program. And on the foreign scene, we told you that Israel has barred the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres from the country over Iran attack response. For more news, connect with Lagos Television on the social media platforms. For our parting shot tonight, whatever the mind of a man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Please remember to call Lagos toll-free lines at 767 or 112 in case of emergencies. Thank you for watching. I am Adibimpe Omotayo.